We went to around southern portion of Korea over to Wonsan, which is almost like going from left to right from the Incheon to Wonsan. But we went around the island, and we were going back and forth and back and forth for weeks. And we couldn't understand why. And when we found out later on that the whole area was sea mined, and mines all over the place, and we couldn't even make an appropriate landing at that time.
North Korean Army was well trained, and they were committed, and they were steadfast, and they were really dedicated to save their country. And if you recall, or perhaps you don't recall, but the origin of Korea was mostly northern, because that was where the industry was, and that's where a lot of the strength of the nation came from. In the south portion of Korea was in fact agriculture, and it wasn't as much an area of development as the North Koreans. But the North Koreans were really committed and dedicated to taking their role.
I was 22 years old. They called me Pop. I mean, these kids were 18, 19 years old. The staff NCOs were 20, 21. I was one of the oldest guys out there. But to a man, they defended that line, they defended that country, and they fought for folks that we did not know, who we'd never met, to give them a chance at freedom.
The ceasefire had been signed. There was about 3 days, as I recall, before it went into effect. Those 3 days were hell. We encountered as many casualties in that short a period of time as we had in the month before that. When the war finally ended, we were under strict orders to lock our weapons, keep them loaded but locked, and don't fire unless we were informed to fire.
It is deeply moving to see the love for humanity that the United States military showed. In the most pressing moment, the United States did not only withdraw its soldiers, but also helped countless refugees escape North Korea. And so this is why the Battle of Changjin Reservoir, Chosin Reservoir, and the Hungnam evacuation operation are the greatest military victories, greatest victories in the military history of the world.